How's it going out there, YouTube? My name is Jesse, and I am the curator for the Golden Age, and this is another...
Lost Heroes of the Golden Age.
Yes, this is another Lost Heroes of the...
Will you just get started already?
What is your hurry?
I shouldn't have to explain it to you.
Your Jungle Girl obsession is going to have to calm down a little bit.
I wholeheartedly disagree.
Yes, as you can tell, we are doing a Jungle Girl. This is Princess Pantha.
Let's get started.
You're gonna have to calm down, seriously. Yes, we are doing Princess Pantha. This is a request video, and the reason this is a request video is I actually didn't know about her. I knew about the one that is the focus of this t-shirt, Judy of the Jungle, but I totally missed Princess Pantha, and that's because she only appeared in Thrilling comics, and I really hadn't gone into those very much. There are a lot of comic books in Nedor. I think I counted their titles, and there was a total of, I think it was close to 20. So I missed some titles out there. I thought Princess Pantha was an interesting thing. Now, when it comes to the Golden Age, there are many different genre of comic books out there. One of the most well-known ones are the heroes. There's also detectives. There's detectives, there's space heroes, there's your soldiers, and there's jungle, and I'm going to say jungle people, because as much as we like to talk about jungle girls, it wasn't just jungle girls, there was jungle men as well. So it's a whole genre of just jungle people in general. Now, I have to admit, I haven't really dived into the jungle stories all that much. I don't really know all that much about the space heroes, which is weird because I'm a sci-fi geek. I know the heroes, I know the detectives and the army stories pretty well, but I really don't know too much about the jungle comic books, and I didn't know much about Princess Pantha before I came into this one. She's an interesting character, slightly compelling. I think maybe they ended her strip a little too early. And one of the main reasons I think the Jungle Girls may have faded out before it was really time for them is almost all of the Jungle Girls are non-powered superheroes. Well, they're not superheroes, but they're non-powered characters. And there were a number of non-powered heroes in the Golden Age. So, with the Jungle Girls not being powered, they might have been sandwiched in with heroes. So, when people lost interest with the heroes, they also lost interest with the jungle people at the same time when the cowboy story started taking over, which is a shame because I really think that the Jungle Girl should have gone on a lot longer. I know, I sound like the voice when I say something like that.
Beg pardon?
You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, we did cover Princess Pantha. I think this is interesting enough for what she did. So let's go over. Let's do a little bit of an intro about her. You'll see how she entered into the comic book. She's a little bit different from a normal Jungle Girl. I would assume that her story is different from a normal Jungle Girl. Like I said, I really haven't dived into the Jungle Girl genre all as much, to the chagrin of the voice. But I think that moving forward, I wouldn't mind doing more of them.
Yeah, baby.
Stop that. Okay, so let's go ahead and cover Princess Pantha, and you'll get a general idea of what they were trying to do with her. Let's get started. Princess Pantha. Princess Pantha, real name, Pantha, first appeared in Thrilling Comics number 56 in 1946. Publisher was Nedor. Created by Art Saif. Well, that's not actually the creator. The creator is unknown. Art Saif, I think I'm saying that right, Saaf, was actually the artist. And one of the reasons that Nedor got him to be the artist for this is because he worked with Fiction House drawing Sheena comics. Sheena was the very first, as they wanted to call it, white jungle goddesses. Now, Princess Pantha wasn't the first, but she was part of an explosion of women that were to come out in the mid 40s in the Golden Age comics. And this is where a lot of the other jungle girls would start making more of an appearance. Now, not to say that there wasn't other jungle girls appearing at the time of Sheena, but they wouldn't have nearly the kind of staying power that she had, or the kind of staying power that the girls coming out in the late 40s would have. Now, Princess Pantha was not the featured cover at first, but she would take it over soon afterwards, and she wouldn't be the covered feature always, even on some of the stories that she was the featured cover. She wouldn't always be the featured story, but that would change until, let's see, it was issue 72, and that's when the cowboy stories would start taking over and start facing her out of the comic books right there at the end of the 40s, which was a shame because she was appearing on, what did I say it was, Thrilling Comics. She appeared until issue 74, and it ended at issue 80, so she could have ran out the rest of the issues, but they might not have known it was ending at number 80. Now, there was an interesting artist for this. It was Alex Stromberg. Now, I noticed that a lot of the covers did not match her outfit in the stories. And it even says that Adam Stromberg was a cover specialist who rarely saw the interior pages of comics, which was pretty common back in the Golden Age, which is a lot of times why the covers and the stories never matched up. I mean, a lot of times people would say, hey, do a cover with this, do a cover with that. Now, I don't really know the Jungle Girl format enough to say if she was doing anything different. And since I don't know whether she was doing anything different, I'll just say some of the things that I did notice about her, and I guess we can try and match that up to other comics, because we did do what was it, Judy of the Jungle, I think it was, that was also published by Nedor. Let me check. It was Judy of the Jungle, which we also did. Now, one of the differences between Judy and Pantha is Pantha did not have any animal sidekicks that I was able to discover. What she did, though, is she did have a male, kind of a male counterpart. His name was Dane Hunter. Yes, his last name was Hunter. Now, he went out to rescue Princess Pantha when she disappeared on an expedition that she took over in Africa, but by the time he got there, she didn't need any help. Now, they would kill people when it was needed, but they killed animals gratuitously. Princess Pantha, I'm not going to say every animal she's killed, but some of the things that are notable to her kills, she's killed a lion, she's killed a rhinoceros. Yes, I'll show that. She said, die by my blade. That was, I'm like, whoa, okay. She killed crocodiles in the water, and Dane Hunter had his fair share of kills too. But he used a gun whenever he did the kill. Now, what was interesting about Princess Pantha is she did not start off originally as a jungle girl. She was a circus performer, and the reason she went to Africa is because there were rumors of a gigantic gorilla. Now, the tales surrounding her going after and trying to capture this giant gorilla consumed the first 4 appearances of her being in there by the time she finally succeeded and brought it back, and then the giant gorilla was never mentioned again. She would routinely come back to the mainland, and she would mostly go to the Africans or anywhere else where there was the jungle. She also went to the Congo once, I believe, and she would wear the clothes that were appropriate for being on the mainland, because if she was wearing a jungle girl, then none of the men would get any work done. And she would always be dressed back in her leopard skin bikini by the time, yeah, the voice wants to really take over, by the time she was back in the jungle again. Now, in the first couple appearances, Dane Hunter, he never wore a shirt when he was in the jungle. In fact, in his first appearance, he's just in blue jeans with a knife strapped to his belt. He would later wear a leopard printed trunks as well. And he wouldn't wear the leopard skin in every single appearance, but he did in a number of appearances. Now, starting in issue 60, I believe it was 66. Let's see, it was number 66. Pantha would start getting text stories along with her panel stories. So when she was the feature, her panel stories would appear first, and then she would have her text story that would either appear right after or later in the issue. In fact, in her very last appearance, which I believe was issue number 74, even though she wasn't mentioned or was on the cover, she still had her panel story, even though she wasn't the featured cover on that. She still had her panel story and her text story, and that would be the last time that she would appear, would be that. So that's a lot of what I know about this. Feature covered, feature stories, appeared for a number of episodes, starting in 56, ending in 74. She could have rode this thing till the end, but she didn't. So let's go over her first appearances. No animal sidekicks like a lot of the other ladies in the comic books Jungle Girls would get. No animal sidekicks. So we'll go ahead and cover her, where her first appearance is also the first appearance of Dane Hunter, so it's kind of a twofer. And you can see how her creation, and her being a circus performer from the mainland to becoming a jungle girl, was different from a lot of other women coming into, who were either born in the wild and that was their native habitat, or they became jungle in some other ways. So let's go ahead and cover her, and you can see where her first appearance was and how her creation was. And they didn't stray too far from her. She pretty much stayed grounded as the kind of hero she was. So let's go ahead and cover Princess Pantha. Oh, one more thing I will mention. In a number of her appearances, when she first started appearing, a lot of her stories, her first page was double pages. And it's not unusual for someone to have double appearances when they were either doing a special issue or even in their first appearance. But as many of the double appearances as she got to begin with was a little unusual. But they would go to being one-page appearances after a certain amount of time, around the time that she started getting her text stories. So let's go ahead and finally cover Princess Pantha. Princess Pantha. The world knew her as Princess Pantha, ace animal trainer of the Great National Circus. Little did they dream what would happen when this lovely lass traded the tan bark for the drama and deadly danger of the deep jungle. Here's a strange and stripping story of the grim mysteries of the wilds, of how Princess Pantha very bold letters, pitted the powers of a mere girl against the fierce challenge of the Dark Continent. Okay, it's this is an incredible page right here. Not only because we see her in her fur bikini, but, just all the animals, the action. I find it very condescending the way this starts off. If you want my opinion, Mr. Glit Edgegates, your beautiful Princess Pantha is a dumb little publicity seeker. Imagine an inexperienced girl heading into the African jungle on a wild goose chase like that. It's really my fault, Mr. Hunter. So, apparently he's sending Hunter out to get Princess Pantha. And then again, he says another condescending... I mean, you already said it once, but you gotta say it again. You sent an idiotic kid smack into the heart of Africa to capture a fantastic gorilla that nobody even could ever prove existed. So they're talking about the fact that she wanted to go to Africa. Now, we haven't heard from Princess Pantha in over a month. I wonder what could have happened to her. And we jump... we see her on a picture with the elephant and the lion. I don't think she ever killed any elephants. She definitely did kill a lion. So we cut back. What did happen to Princess Pantha after her safari past that little town of... I'm not even going to try and butcher that. So we see her out here with her safari team and a number of natives. And let's see. That evening, this is my new idea, Princess. I've hooked up recordings of the gorilla's cry. The loudspeaker will send out the cry over the jungle, and it may lure the giant gorilla in our direction. This is supposed to be his stamping grounds, all right. Then we see one of the natives running up. Miss Bawana, guards say kudos come. They're crazy from Taka, want blood. We have a star here from Taka. Oh, native liqueur. So they're drunk. Okay. Suddenly, we're surrounded, Princess. Grab a gun. Fight for your life. We see spears are running out. Her whole... they're throwing spears back. The natives that are helping her also get run down. So they're killing everybody as a part of her expedition team. And it looks like the witch doctor comes up and grabs Pantha by the neck. And she's right next to the loudspeaker and blares it at full volume. And they hear the terrifying cry of a mighty gorilla. Now, they think it's real. Magana, Magana, Magana. That's the native name for the huge gorilla they talked about. Did you study the language? You know what? I'm not even gonna try and figure out how you understand anything that they're saying. Okay, so they say flee for your lives, and then we see her all alone and trying to get her bearings. And on this last panel right here, it says, "Now what do I do? I'm alone in the jungle. Equipment destroyed. Only a little food left. Miss Animal Trainer, you're in quite a spot." Well, those birds seem to be happy to listen to you. All right. So 2 months later, when Dane Hunter comes to the remains of Princess Pantha Safari, he finds... Okay, now, when I first was reading this, I had a problem that they were bones. I'm like, how in the heck is there bones? There's only been 2 months. But he actually explained this, and I'm impressed that they explained it. There's so many things that happens in the Golden Age that go unanswered, and then you're left here completely unexplicable going, what in God's name? But no, he said that let's see, this is it. The story is pretty clear. The natives attacked. The whites fought desperately. Why are you calling... Are you calling the whites for the benefit of the people on safari with you? Because you're white. You wouldn't refer to your own people as the whites. The bears ran away. Nothing but bones left by the hyenas. Can't tell which body is which. So he finds the wristwatch, and then he hears a sound. queer sort of bird call. You can't say that word. I've never heard one like that before. And they realize that it is one of the natives of the tribe that attacked them and is letting them know that there are other people here. So the people that attacked Princess Pantha is now attacking Dane Hunter and his crew. But he's got his gun and he starts shooting some of them. Let's see. He doesn't shoot all of them. He punches this one. It's still true. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. But they did have superior numbers. And they do overwhelm him. Now, for some reason, Dane seems to know every single dialect. It seems like every time they come up on a new tribe, he seems to know their language. Right here it says, "No," shouts the witch doctor. This cringing hyena must not die so easily. His fire stick killed our great chief's son. Take him to our village." So they kill the other members of his crew, but they don't want to kill Dane because since he killed the chief's son, he's going to die far more horrifically. So at that moment, high in the tree, above, drawn by the sudden sounds of battle, perches the supposedly dead Princess Pantha. Another raid by the bloodthirsty Kudos. They have taken a white man prisoner. You're white! Why would you say white man? I mean, if you were mixed race or dark, I could understand why you would preference that, but you're white. Maybe I'm reading too much into this, but why would somebody who is white say that they've taken a white man? You could have just said, look, they've taken that man prisoner. I know she doesn't know who he is. Now, this is a great action page where she's jumping to the next branch. I really do like that. Very well done. Okay, so she knows that she wants to cause a distraction so she can save him. I've learned a lot in my fight to survive in the jungle these past 2 months. There is a way to save that man's life. You see, you said save that man's life. You didn't say to save the white man's life, which means in the other panel, you can say they've taken that man prisoner. Okay. Now, she comes up on the elephants, and they already seem to be very enraged and half crazed. So she goes down there, and she whips them into a frenzy by firing arrows at them. And they are coming after her because they want to kill her, but she's got them all amped up. Let's see. So he is tied in ropes and brought to the village, and at that time we see her jump the fence. I see. I'm just in time. Wait, what is that? Witch doctor? And as she climbs the fence, the elephants still want to get to her. So the elephants start tearing down the ramparts. We see the witch doctor getting ready to stab Dane, who is on the pole now. Let the cowards flee, screams the witch doctor. I will do my duty. Die, white Karen, or Karen. Not sure how you would pronounce that. And as he's getting ready to stab Dane, she throws her knife and pierces him in the shoulder. Dr. Livingston, I presume. I don't know who you are, friend, but this is no time for humor. The herd leader spots his tormentor. Pantha, look out! So he comes straight towards her, and let's see. Here's something I learned as an animal trainer with the circus, big boy. And she jumps on top of the elephant. At that time, Dane is watching her. Whew, that was close. That girl's worth a lot more than I gave her credit for. Yeah, you were being very condescending at the beginning of this issue. And at the time that she's trying to calm down the elephants, this witch doctor still is trying to kill Dane. I guess he got the knife out of his shoulder. So he's coming after Dane with the spear. So he's like, so you haven't given up. Here's something that might help change your mind. And then he slugs him and makes him fall down and snaps. Okay, that's how he got it. I read this earlier. I missed that part. He snaps the pendant that he's wearing around his neck. Come on, it isn't safe to trifle with those elephants anymore. Well, you got them worked up in the first place. And he's like, you're the boss. I'm beginning to think being bossed by you wouldn't be so bad at that. Yeah, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. Okay. So she wants to know how do you know my name? I know all about you, princess, and your nonsensical search for the phantom gorilla of all the dumb stuff. What's this? I'm holding a pendant I tore from the witch doctor's neck. There's a small figure carved into it. And it's the figure of the giant ape. Now, the giant ape does actually exist, and they catch him after a few issues. So they're using... She thinks that the pendant is absolute proof that the gorilla exists. And Dane says, don't be foolish. It's just a naive superstition. Our problem now is to find some way of getting back to civilization. The problem may be bigger than Dane Hunter and Princess Pantha think. There's a surprise in store in our next issue. And yeah, these stories are actually pretty interesting, despite some of the stories in the Golden Age being a bit more mundane than you want them to be. Alright, I hope you liked this video. I hope you've been enjoying the Nedor month. I think there will be one more video for Nedor. Friday is the 1st. Okay, there'll be one more video for Nedor, and I'm trying to decide on who I would like to end the month with, because being Lost Heroes, I'd like to do somebody obscure. Problem is, there's a lot of popular characters from Nedor as well. So I'm going to have to try and figure out what I want to end the month with. And until... wow. Word vomit. Okay. Stay tuned next week, and then we'll see who we're rounding out Nedor month with. And until then, I'll be seeing you.